Welcome to the Scenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Okay, if you've been anywhere near a health food store or maybe scrolling through wellness blogs lately, you definitely know the word ashwagandha.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere.
And look, this isn't some, fleeting trend. This is a powerful plant with Thania somnifera is the scientific name. It's ancient, actually.
Yeah.
Deep roots in Ayurvedic medicine.
That's right.
And people are really flocking to it for everything, it seems, from calming jitters to hoping for a better night's sleep.
And that massive popularity, that's exactly why it's so critical we do this deep dive today.
Right?
Ashwagandha has, it's earned its fame partly because it belongs to this very special class of compounds we call adaptogens.
Adaptogens, okay.
Think of an adaptogen as like a substance that helps your body find its way back to balance when stress is pulling it off course. It doesn't eliminate the stress itself, but it helps your systems, your hormonal systems, your neurological systems handle that stress load more efficiently.
Okay, so our mission today is really to try and cut through some of that noise. We want to honor the genuine benefits, absolutely the vitality, the stress relief people are looking for. But we also have to provide a really clear-eyed look at the potential adverse effects and, the mandatory safety checks involved.
Exactly. We're going to walk you through the promise of the plant, sure, but maybe more importantly, we're going to highlight the specific warning signs and, crucially, who should probably be avoiding it altogether.
Okay, let's unpack that promise first then.
Yeah.
Why is ashwagandha in seemingly every supplement aisle right now?
Right.
The main uses we see cited, they seem focused squarely on modern life challenges, don't they? People using it for stress, anxiety reduction.
Definitely number one.
Significantly better sleep quality, boosting cognitive function, so better energy, maybe better concentration.
Yes, mental clarity.
Supporting hormone balance, and just generally strengthening the immune system. It's quite a list.
It is. And this is where, the conversation moves beyond just ancient wisdom and into actual modern research.
Good point.
What's compelling here is that the sources, they aren't just relying on tradition. When we look at reviews from authoritative groups, like those compiled by the Canadian Network for Mood and Anxiety Treatments,
Okay.
they actually suggest genuine efficacy. This plant seems to act by moderating the HPA axis. That's the body's main stress response system.
Right, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis.
Exactly. So by sort of dampening those prolonged high levels of cortisol, the chronic stress hormone,
Cortisol.
it seems to offer tangible relief for things like generalized anxiety disorder and, similar stress-related conditions. It's like it helps the body turn the volume down on its own internal alarm system.
I like that analogy, turning the volume down. But, okay, whenever you introduce something new and, powerful into your system, there's usually an adjustment period, right?
Almost always.
Most people actually seem to tolerate ashwagandha pretty well, especially when taken short term.
That's what the data suggests, yes.
However, we need to be realistic about the common, usually mild side effects that might pop up, particularly when someone's just starting out, or maybe they jump to a higher dosage too quickly.
Yeah, and we can usually attribute these mild effects to the body just, learning how to process this new supplement. They often resolve within a few days or maybe a couple of weeks, but you should definitely recognize them.
Okay, what are we looking for?
So the first and probably the most common issue people report is some kind of digestive upset.
Oh, okay.
This might show up as like loose stool, maybe just general stomach discomfort, a bit of nausea, or sometimes actual diarrhea.
And why the gut? Is it something specific in the plant?
It can be. Ashwagandha contains quite high concentrations of certain active compounds, including things called saponins.
Saponins, right.
And in larger doses, these compounds can sometimes irritate the gut lining slightly. That's likely why we see these digestive issues. Often, a simple fix is just adjusting the dose down a bit or making sure you take it with food.
Good tip. What else?
The second common effect is drowsiness or maybe increased sleepiness.
Which makes sense, given what it's supposed to do.
Exactly. Given its main purpose is calming the nervous system, this side effect actually fits perfectly. If you find yourself feeling too sluggish during the day, that's probably your body telling you to shift when you take it.
So, if ashwagandha is making you sleepy, that could actually be a sign it's working as intended. Maybe try taking it closer to bedtime to really lean into those sleep benefits rather than fighting it during the day.
Precisely. maximize the benefit. And then the third mild effect, though it seems less common based on the sources, is headaches.
Okay.
It's a bit harder to pinpoint exactly why this happens for some people. It could just be an individual body reaction, or maybe an interaction with something else they're consuming, caffeine perhaps, or another supplement. It just requires a bit of monitoring.
Okay, so that covers the mild adjustments. But this is where we need to shift gears a bit, right? We've moved past minor tweaks, and now we're looking at really vital safety checks.
Yes, absolutely.
Because while the serious side effects are rare, they are the ones you absolutely must be aware of, because they demand immediate attention.
This is critical. The most serious concern reported, although it does seem to be isolated cases, is liver injury.
Liver injury, wow.
It's rare, but if it happens, it's obviously dangerous. We have seen case reports linking ashwagandha use to some severe liver issues. The key symptoms here are your warning system. You need to look out for jaundice.
Yellowing of the skin or eyes.
Exactly. Or persistent itching, or maybe unexplained pain in the abdomen.
Okay, so if someone experiences any of those symptoms, what's the protocol? Is it a wait and see?
Absolutely not. No waiting. This is a stop taking the supplement immediately and contact your doctor right away situation.
Got it. Stop and call.
The good news generally is that these isolated liver cases often seem to resolve once the supplement is discontinued. But you absolutely need professional medical guidance to make sure no permanent damage has occurred and to manage it properly.
Okay, that's clear. What's next on the serious list?
The second serious concern revolves around hormonal shifts. We know the plant has been shown to potentially increase testosterone levels.
Which for some men might sound like a benefit.
It might, but it creates serious risks for others. For instance, if you have a hormone-sensitive prostate cancer or perhaps existing thyroid disorders, ashwagandha could potentially interfere quite drastically with your body's carefully maintained hormonal balance.
That's really crucial context. And I guess since it acts on so many different biological systems, we also have to remember the general risk of allergic reactions. That comes with pretty much any supplement, right?
Indeed, yeah. Standard allergy symptoms apply. Look for things like skin rashes, maybe hive-like itching, or any kind of difficulty breathing.
And if that happens.
Same protocol. Stop use immediately, and if it's breathing difficulty, seek emergency care. And finally, we should mention a potential issue concerning kidney function. The evidence here is quite limited. It's more suggestive that there might be potential impact on the kidneys, particularly at very high doses. It's not a proven risk like the others, but it definitely underscores the need for caution and confirms that sticking to recommended dosages isn't just a suggestion, it's really a preventative measure. And more research is needed there.
Okay, this brings us directly to the exclusion list.
Yeah.
People who really need to pause. Because regardless of how well received this supplement might be generally, there are specific groups who must be extremely cautious or probably avoid it altogether.
Yes. For these groups, the potential benefits likely don't outweigh the specific risks.
So who's on this list?
First, and this is non-negotiable, pregnant women. Research has shown a documented risk that ashwagandha can cause uterine contractions.
Wow.
This significantly increases the risk of miscarriage, especially in the early stages. It absolutely must be avoided during pregnancy.
Crystal clear. Who else?
Second, breastfeeding mothers. And the reason here is simply that we don't have enough research to confirm its safety for the infant.
So, better safe than sorry.
Exactly. The precautionary principle applies. Until we know it's safe, avoid it while breastfeeding. Third group, people with autoimmune diseases. So conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, Hashimoto's thyroiditis.
Why them specifically?
Well, ashwagandha is often described as an immune system supporter or modulator. For someone whose immune system is already, hyperactive and mistakenly attacking their own body,
Right.
introducing a supplement that might enhance or further activate that system could potentially worsen their symptoms. It's a significant concern.
That makes sense. And linking back to the hormone issue you mentioned earlier.
Yes. The fourth group is anyone with hormone-related cancers. Because of that potential effect on testosterone or potentially interacting with thyroid hormones, this population needs explicit medical clearance from their oncologist or their treating specialist before even considering taking it.
Yeah, that's not something to self-prescribe.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
This is just a prime example of why an individualized approach is so important. What helps one person could genuinely harm another based on their specific health conditions.
Okay, so now let's talk logistics for people who are cleared to take it, maybe after talking with their doctor. We really need to focus on medication interactions
Hugely important.
because ashwagandha is powerful, right? So it could amplify the effects of prescribed drugs, maybe making them too strong, or possibly reduce how well they work.
Both are possible, yes. And the sources outline 5 major drug categories where interaction is a serious concern. First, if you're taking any kind of sedative or anti-anxiety medication,
Like benzodiazepines.
exactly, or even some sleep aids, ashwagandha's own calming effects can compound that sedation. This could lead to excessive drowsiness or even impairment, which is, a huge functional safety risk, especially with driving or operating machinery.
Definitely. What's next?
Next, given its potential hormonal effects, caution is required with thyroid medication. Ashwagandha might interact with or influence the effectiveness of those prescriptions. Needs careful monitoring with your doctor. Similarly, because it can modulate the immune system, it might interact negatively with immunosuppressants drugs people take specifically to dampen their immune response, maybe after an organ transplant, or for autoimmune conditions.
So it could work against the intended effect of the drug.
Potentially, yes. And finally, anyone managing chronic conditions with medication needs to be vigilant. This includes blood pressure medication, the antihypertensives. Ashwagandha could possibly cause an additive effect, leading to blood pressure dropping too low.
Hypotension, right?
Yes. And also diabetes medications, the antihyperglycemics, combining them could potentially lead to blood sugar levels falling too low, which is hypoglycemia.
Also dangerous.
Very. In essence, you're potentially creating a biological cocktail that needs really careful balancing. If you're on any regular medication, you absolutely need that conversation with a doctor or pharmacist to manage these risks and discuss potential dosing adjustments.
Okay, very clear. Now, when we talk about usage, people always ask about the practical stuff. Can I just drop it into my morning coffee? What about that caffeine interaction? Should I take it on an empty stomach?
Yeah, good practical questions.
Yeah.
Let's tackle the empty stomach debate first. While some users report they tolerate it just fine on an empty stomach, a pretty substantial number do experience that stomach discomfort or nausea we mentioned earlier.
Right, the saponins.
Likely, yes. So if you're new to the supplement, probably the safest way to gauge your own tolerance is to start by taking it with a small amount of food. It just helps cushion the stomach lining and minimize those potential early digestive upsets.
Makes sense. Start with food and the caffeine question. That seems like a real internal conflict for some people, the need for calm versus the need for alertness.
It really is a bit of a balancing act, isn't it? Ashwagandha is generally trying to calm your system down, help you adapt to stress, while caffeine is, well, a stimulant trying to ramp you up.
Opposing forces.
Pretty much. You can technically take them around the same time, but you should probably expect the stimulating effects of the caffeine to somewhat negate or blunt the calming adaptogenic benefits of the herb.
So you might be undermining your reason for taking ashwagandha.
Potentially, yes. If you're taking ashwagandha specifically for stress reduction or calm, we generally suggest spacing the two out by a few hours, or at the very least monitor your personal reaction closely to see if you feel like you're canceling out the benefits you're seeking.
Good advice. Okay, so we know it seems to work well for many in the short term with those caveats. But that leads to the million-dollar question for any popular supplement these days. What does all this mean for long-term use, like using it consistently for years?
Yeah, that's the crucial question. And honestly, the reality is we don't fully know. The vast majority of credible scientific studies on ashwagandha are focused on relatively short-term periods.
But short term.
Typically anywhere from a few weeks up to maybe a few months, 3, maybe 6 months sometimes. But reliable long-term safety data, meaning solid information on the effects of continuous use over multiple years, that's just not fully established yet due to these research gaps.
Okay, so that lack of long-term data means we have to be extra smart about how we approach using it, if we choose to. We need some actionable steps that let people try to maximize benefits while still acknowledging that unknown territory.
Exactly right. Safety, especially with unknowns, relies on sticking to best practices. First, and most obviously, stick rigorously to the recommended dosages on the product label, or what your practitioner advises. Don't assume more is better.
Right.
Second, and this is really crucial given that lack of long-term data, consider taking scheduled breaks. Cycling the supplement. Don't just take it continuously indefinitely. Give your body a chance to reset. Maybe 3 months on, 1 month off, something like that, but discuss with a professional.
Okay, cycling is key. What else?
Furthermore, always start with the lowest possible effective dose to see how your individual body reacts before you even think about scaling up.
Titrate up slowly.
Precisely. And, irrespective of whether you feel fine or not, regular health checkups, perhaps including blood work, can help monitor for those potential serious risks we talked about, particularly liver and thyroid function, especially if you do plan to use the supplement cyclically over a longer period.
Proactive monitoring. Makes sense. Before we move to the final thought, let's just quickly tie back to a kind of surprising area you touched on. Fertility.
Ah, yes, that's an interesting aspect.
While the calming and balancing effects are great for general health, the sources did note something specific for men, didn't they?
That's right. There are some studies suggesting ashwagandha may actually improve certain fertility parameters in men, specifically by potentially boosting both sperm count and motility.
Interesting. And for women?
For women, the thinking is that the hormone balancing effects might also be beneficial, perhaps helping to regulate cycles or manage stress related to fertility challenges. But honestly, that particular area in women needs more focused clinical research before we can make any definitive claims. Still promising, though. So ultimately, the core message we really want you to leave with today is this. Ashwagandha is undoubtedly a powerful plant. For many people, it seems to provide genuine, tangible benefits, improved mood, maybe better energy levels, significant stress relief.
The reasons people seek it out.
Exactly. But that power comes with equally real potential adverse effects. These range from the milder things like digestive upset that we covered, all the way to serious concerns like those rare cases of liver injury or potentially dangerous hormonal changes in susceptible individuals. You have to balance the reported benefits with the documented risks. And remember that professional medical advice, especially if you have underlying conditions or take medications, is really the only way to safely figure out if and how this supplement might fit into your personal health routine.
Okay, so here's something to think about. Given those adaptogenic benefits, which are quite compelling, and the fact that it seems generally well tolerated in the short term for many people, how might you structure a safe cycle of use? One that includes, say, deliberate dosage breaks and those health check-ins we discussed, to try and maximize the benefits you're personally seeking, while still respecting those current gaps we have in the long-term safety research. That's something to perhaps mull over and definitely discuss with your doctor until our next deep dive.
Thanks for tuning in to the Scenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit scenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.